we'd been married for a long time. I think most people figured we were going to have kids, and then when we didn't right away, we got asked constantly, when are you going to have a baby? When are you going to have a baby? When are you going to let Trent have a baby? That was the worst. I got that a lot, actually. And it would make me so upset, and I'd like play it off, knowing, I'm taking medications and we've been trying for years. I would definitely make it awkward and say, oh, actually, we lost a pregnancy last month. Or I just had an ectopic pregnancy and I'm trying to heal from that before we start again. We've been trying for 3 years and I've lost 4 pregnancies. Thanks for asking. Down the conversation pretty quickly. After a miscarriage, it was just a lot of very heavy, grief that I could not move past. Partly because we were still in the middle of trying to get pregnant. There was no resolution. There was no ending. There was no pause. It was, okay, in 10 days, we're going to start the Clement again. And it was just, I was so anxious all the time. But you have nothing to focus it on. There was no I'm worried about the baby falling or whatever your focus is. You don't have any of that. It ended up being, I was worried about seeing pregnant bellies. I was worried about being asked about it. I was definitely more sensitive about what people said to me. You get this pregnant belly radar. You purposely seek out the things that are gonna hurt your feelings so that you can at least control it a little bit.
My name is Kelsey Henceroth, and I'm a grief counselor with Ohio Health Home Reach Hospice. Generally speaking, if we're talking about grief, we're talking about it on the bigger, more broad sense of really just any kind of a loss. And I just don't think we really recognize different types of losses and call them grief. Anybody can experience loss, even if they don't look like it. Anybody can be having a hard time and going through something hard. But we absolutely experience so many ambiguous losses when we become a parent, regardless of if that's connected to a pregnancy loss or anything like that.
I remember getting a lot of comments asking me when I was due, because I kind of had back-to-back pregnancies. So, the beginning of a pregnancy, your tummy swells and it doesn't go right immediately. And then getting pregnant right again after that, it just, each pregnancy, your body kind of goes, oh, okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And you get that little belly. They probably noticed that I had a belly for a while and would ask about it. And that was more upsetting, because it was talking about the infertility and the pregnancy loss with a touch of body shaming. With the last pregnancy that I lost, my ectopic pregnancy, I was extra swollen. And I wore a dress that didn't necessarily hide it, but it was comfortable and I was feeling uncomfortable, so I just wanted comfy clothes. But someone didn't know, said something about it. And I said, I earned this belly and this is the only thing I have left from this pregnancy. So I'm not in any, hurry to get rid of it or hide it. But that was all I had left.
You had an idea of what you wanted to happen. You had scripted a certain outline and experience, and you got this very unscripted version. Your brain didn't prepare itself. Your body didn't prepare itself for what that was going to look like. And so it is something you're allowed to grieve. It's something you're allowed to mourn, and do it through storytelling, through talking about it with friends and families, by sharing it, right? Not keeping it to yourself and not just minimizing it. We just have to process that with people. We do have to say it and say it and say it. One, to kind of make it real, right? To not make it be this ambiguous thing that didn't happen, and to kind of make those neural pathways when it was something unscripted.
My anxiety comes up in anger sometimes, and it's just a general anxiety and depression about everything. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. Things maybe don't feel quite right. Everything's fine, but I feel a little too much up and down, a little too much down. Like when I lost pregnancies, I know I didn't make a big deal to anybody. I didn't really tell many people because I knew nothing that they could do would make me feel better. Nobody was going to give me what I needed. The only people I really was very open with were my doctors. Just regular appointments going, okay, I'm not myself. I'm not normal. I'm sad all the time. I'm crying all the time in public. I'm not a...
Hey, I'm Kari Douglas, a grief counselor with Ohio Health Loss and Healing Services. We do rituals for a lot of things that bring us comfort, right? We celebrate our birthday and celebrate us, blowing out the candle another year, those kind of things. Well, you can celebrate that, you're here on earth still another year after your loss, and you remember them like they were here, they were part of you, and trying to remember that.
We had to try a bunch of medications to try to figure out what worked for me. The first one we tried, I felt better. I didn't feel anxious, but I also didn't feel happy. A couple months later, I mentioned it to my doctor that, I don't have any downs, but I also don't really have any ups. Feeling flat is a pretty common side effect and something we don't want. It was good that I wasn't feeling sad. I wasn't crying in public anywhere. But I also just didn't feel anything. Trying a couple others, different dosages and things, I finally found something where I felt normal. And I did feel ups and downs. Then you just felt normal sad for everything that had happened.
Anything that you have an emotion about, you need to have that emotion about. Whether it's happy, whether it's sad, whether it's anger, shame, guilt, just the whole gamut of all the emotions. It's helpful to put kind of a title on what emotion you're feeling, but even if you don't quite know, guess and try to get it out, whether, whatever kind of coping skill, it's going to come out. So trying to figure out, what do I do? How does that going to look? Feeling the emotion is the key.
When the doctor told us that it wasn't going to happen and that we could try IVF, we could try surrogacy, we could try adoption, everything's so expensive and it felt so overwhelming. You get this overwhelming feeling of, I should just step back. All these problems are solved if I just take myself out of the equation. I should just step back, let everyone live their lives away from all this trouble that I'm causing. It was such like a string through all of your thoughts. You just get this voice saying, they're going to be better if you're not here. You're going to be better if you can just step away. Your husband can find another wife that will have babies and it'll be no big deal. I'm pretty sure I even told him, do you want to just call it quits? He just said, it's you and me. Whether we have 10 kids or no kids, maybe we'll just spend all the money we'd spend on kids on traveling, buying an RV, getting 1 billion dogs. It was really good to know we were on the same page. We were both working towards the same goal, which was baby or no baby, same team. That was such a helpful little speech that he gave. An unnecessary speech, because 3 days later I found out I was pregnant.
I find that it is very common for most women in the fertility journey to kind of hit some sort of wall of what would happen if I just wouldn't be part of this equation. It's all my fault. So that is a common negative belief that is created through this whole process. But it does take probably some conversations with their support people around them for them to see that they're not alone in this. We have to kind of step back and look at the whole picture. But trying to work on, okay, what is going well? What are some things that they're thankful for? What are some things that they do well in their family? What do people go to them for? You can build on any little thing that they hold on to, like that builds their self-esteem, and build on that. You can.
Having the anxiety after having the baby gave you just this thing to focus on, this thing you had to be hyper vigilant and make a bubble around. You get very focused on specific things about the baby. So, I was really worried about someone taking her, specifically right above her crib. Someone coming in through her window and just reaching in and just snatching her. That's not something I've ever been really worried about before. They kind of came with the baby. I slept with my hand on her, bassinet right next to me. I would be so tired and I wouldn't be able to sleep because I was just watching her breathe. A drunk driver hit our house exactly a month before I had Dorothy. They hit her nursery. We had to move out when Dorothy was about 1 month old. I had felt pretty comfortable in the house that we lived in. But then moving to a new place, it was very isolated. It was very dark. It was very sprawling and spread out. A lot of open windows, just open to dark. I remember being alone, and we would just retreat into the bedroom, and I'd close all the blinds, and I'd lock ourselves in, and I'd even put barriers in front of the doors. I thought, what if someone breaks in and I sleep right through it, pick her up and walk away with her? You have those feelings, and then you have all of the responsibilities and the no sleep, and you're not eating right. You've got all this stuff you have to do on top of feeling, that you're not good enough, that you're not doing enough, that everybody would be better off if you stepped away. That just gets compounded so much. It's hard to decipher what's normal mom behavior and what's a little bit too far. So until you have crossed several lines and kind of see it from, outside of your life, outside of your body, or someone says you're really worried about that. You don't see how much the anxiety has affected you until you can kind of take a step back.
The part that I really try to stress during this time is, when any thoughts or fears are brought to me, that's the point where it's a lot more of your anxiety is in crisis mode still. So we need to work on figuring out where the root cause is and calming down your nervous system. Okay, let's stand back and let's take each thought, because there's always a portion that is a normal mom worry. It's pretty shocking sometimes about how much pressure we put on ourselves. That thinking is skewed, and it's not correct in our minds. So trying to walk somebody through how they got to these thoughts, what causes anxiety, and trying to really work with them on coping skills and how to stop that cycle. So a lot of grounding, using all 5 of your senses so they can come back into their bodies right now and go, we're safe, nothing's happening, nothing's going on. We're here with our baby now,